Hey, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll look at the AD100 with small modifiers. I'll show you some examples using this small compact light with a 24-inch softbox, with a Magbounce, with a dome diffuser, and with a Profoto Magnum reflector. But any similar modifier will work the same way. Because of the small size of this flash, it kind of lands in that category to be used with small modifiers because it's more compact, more portable, and you can use it in different situations. I will show you when and why I use these modifiers, and you will see the results you get. Without any further ado, let's jump on it. We'll take some pictures with Lydia and Leo today, and we'll use different modifiers. When the flash is the only light source in the scene, I like to use this 24-inch softbox because it's super versatile and also it secures the flash really good. This is a classic setup, and you see the light is above my subject eye. I will have the light feathered from their face. To balance a little bit more, I'm using a reflector. I think every photographer should have a reflector on their back because it's super versatile. You can use it with ambient and you can use it with artificial light. This is something like I will always have with me. And you get super nice results with the softbox. You know what you get. You have a nice transition between shadows and highlights, and the reflector bounce back some light on the shadow side, and you have a very nice and balanced picture. Another modifier I like to use, but I don't think it works very good as a situation like this when you have only one light source in your scene, is the Magbounce. I use the flash in vertical position and I position it to the side. You have to pay attention with this lighting setup because if it's too high, you're gonna have a nose shadow on the cheek. I really don't like that look, and I tend to bring the flash further in front of my subject and lower it, so I contain the shadows of the nose very close to the base. I just want the contrast, to see a little bit of contrast on the nose, and it takes a little bit more time to set up. It's why I kind of like stay away of using this modifier and when you don't have too much ambient light. Using these light modifiers, your light source is still very small and you get a very hard light, and it's why when it's the only light you get a super contrasty light. It's very hard to control. You have to fuss with the light a little bit too much, and if you have the time it's good, but if you are on the go and you are moving fast, you're gonna take you too much time to get a light pattern you might like on your subject. So I will kind of like stay away from these lights when I don't have too much ambient light and when my flash is overpowering the whole scene. But contrary of all these things, one modifiers what I like is the Magnum reflector from Profoto, which fits the Godox round head flashes with no other adapters. And this modifier helps me to get a super nice light pattern, which I like a lot. I don't use it with the grid because I want a little bit more spread. The light is very focused, very strong, and super hard. But in order to get a nice diffuse light, I'm using a diffuser. This diffuser came with my reflector, and I really like the look I get with this. I will orient the light towards the face of my subject, and you get a super nice light pattern because it's very punchy and it's focused in the center, and it has a super nice fall-off. I think it looks more dramatic. It looks way much better than the looks I'm getting using the softbox. You have more versatility using the Profoto Magnum reflector and a diffusion panel than any other modifiers in these categories, because I can use it in a situation like this when it's the only source of light, and also outdoors because this Magnum reflector increases a little bit the output of your flash, and it works really good in a bright light. Also diffusing a little bit the light, it helps to have a nice transition from highlights to shadow, and the looks are always top-notch. We are not outdoors. We have Eric with us today to be the trooper for this photo shoot. When we are using these modifiers with the AD100 outdoors, they behave different because right now my light is a fill light. I just use the light to fill in the shadows and to increase the overall exposure on Eric's face. I'm gonna underexpose the background and just boost the light on my subject. I'm going to shoot in a high-speed sync, and the flash syncs to 8,000 of a second. I have no problem with this, and keeps up with very fast shooting. It worked really good for this purpose. And like I was doing in interior, with these small modifiers, because they are hard sources of light, I'll try to position it to pay attention to do not cast shadows on my subject face. I'll try to position it as low as possible so I don't have long nose shadows on the cheek. And also I will dial it in very small steps. I will not increase the exposure too much. I don't want to darken too much the background. I will try to create a balance. And of course, I will try just to mimic the ambient light to wrap around his face and have a nice exposure. All these modifiers work really good in situations like this, every single one with no exceptions. These modifiers are doing a really good job minimizing the specularity from the flash. And we have the highlights are a little bit hot, but overall look of the pictures I think is really good. The Godox, I think, is the 10th light. It gives you the most real estate from all these modifiers, the small, the special, the silicone one. And I really like how it works with the AD100 because it secures, it snaps on it. You know, they have these plastic colors and you have a nice tight secure fit on it. You can use it on the horizontal position, so you spread the light a little bit more on the face, and I really like how nice and balanced the light is. You don't have a color cast on this one, maybe just a little orange tint, but it works with the skin tones, and it is very versatile. I think it's one of these modifiers you should try to put your hands on and use it because it works really good in a situation like this, and it collapses, it packs very small, and you can carry it with you all the time. When we are using the 24-inch umbrella outdoors, it's very predictable, very nice soft light. It wraps around the face of our subject. It's very easy to set up because you don't have to be very precise. Make sure that you feather the light away from the subject to have nice and diffuse light on his face. The Profoto Magnum reflector outdoors works without diffusion too, because we have the ambient light and we just blend in the flash with what we have in the scene. You just have to dial it in small increments so you don't overpower too much the ambient, because it projects the light really far away and powerful. I like just the reflector because you have a nice focus light on your subject. You can draw attention to just for the face if you want. You can put your light pretty far away if you need to. I'm shooting right now with a 35mm 1.4 lens, and I am pretty close, and the angle of view is pretty wide, and I don't have the light in the picture. When using the reflector, I just try always to have my subject having the nose pointed towards the light, because you, especially if you shoot from the side, you have a nice light fall off, and you don't have to deal with the shadows if you get any. But I'm trying to keep the exposure balance. I'm trying to have the flash output just strong enough to open up the shadows and without introducing too much light in the scene. Now we're gonna use the flash with the diffusion panel. Like I told you guys, it's one of my favorite setups for a situation like this. Eric, I'm gonna need your help. Can you hold the camera 1 second? And I have to raise my panel a little bit more. Okay. I need to make sure that the flash points towards Eric, who is a photographer now, and I will switch to TTL because I have to see what kind of settings I have to dial in on the flash. Nice. From TTL, I'm switching to manual. I'm at 164 and 7/10 on AD100. I think I will just go to 1/32 power just 3 times more. I want to see how it goes. Eric, look this way. Nice. Yes, I just increased to 1/16 power on the flash because I want to open up the exposure a little more. It looks very balanced. I'm shooting a high-speed sync. My shutter speed is 1/400, f1.4, ISO 100. The flash power is 16th power dialed in my AD100. Trying to blend in my artificial light with the ambient as seamlessly as possible. Always work in small increments. I like these setups because I can overpower very easily the ambient at all the time with the diffusion or without the diffusion, but I like the diffusion because it gives that a little bit more glow, and I like how the light fall off on my subject. I'm shooting with the Canon R5 with the 35 1.4 RF lens and with the 85 1.2 RF lens. The small light modifiers give you a little bit more hard light, and the hard light gives you more color saturation, and the picture looks a little bit more snappier. I think I'll prefer outdoors small light modifiers. And of course, my favorite are gonna always be the Profoto Magnum reflector because it's very focused, and I like how the pictures come out. But do not get hung up in the gear. Just try to practice, go outdoors and try to practice with whatever gear you have. How long you take your flash off camera, you're always gonna find a way to diffuse your light and make it more interesting. Take it out, use it and practice, and you'll get better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please check out my channel for more lighting tutorials and gear reviews. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.